Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mindfulness online guided meditation. Thank you for being here. Your presence counts. We're here to support each other in our regular formal mindfulness practice. Today I'm going to guide us in 10 minutes mindfulness of the breath, followed by a few words on letting things be. And as mindfulness is more about being than doing, we'll keep that in mind as we meditate. And when we see ourselves slipping into perhaps some striving and some directional, goal-oriented action in the mind, I encourage you to step back into the being. And we achieve a state of being readily when we pay attention to the physical sensations in the body. And so by being with our senses in that way, we connect with the moment, we connect with ourselves, and we become the observer. So we're observing kindly, we're witnessing the truth of the moment, and when the mind jumps in to make a judgment or a suggestion or a criticism, we just notice that kindly. And we come back to our direct experience of now. So we're not thinking about the moment, we're really sensing it. We're using our sense of mostly touch as we're feeling the breath and feeling ourselves sitting. And then meditation can also use sounds, images that come, and an awareness of our emotions and thoughts. But we stay quite simple to start with, just focusing on the breath and noticing what happens, being kind with ourselves. Sitting in a dignified posture helps us to stay alert, but it's not imperative. So when you're ready, closing our eyes for 10 minutes, mindfulness of the breath. Coming into the moment by feeling ourselves sitting. Actually sensing our contact with the cushion, the chair, the floor. And experiencing those physical sensations of sitting. The places of warmth and contact. Maybe there's more pressure on one side than the other. Just becoming aware of how this particular moment of sitting feels. Maybe there's some tingling. Maybe the sensations change as we observe them. Adopting a warm and friendly approach. As we witness the feelings of sitting, the physical sensations, and as we experience each moment coming home to the body, coming home to the self and the now. You may like to make a micro adjustment in your posture to find a sweet spot where the head and the spine are aligned and balanced. And once we're present, however imperfectly, we invite our attention to the breath. Noticing the movement, the flow, the pauses. Maybe aware of the belly expanding and receding. Maybe aware of the rib cage moving like bellows. And maybe feeling air passing in the nostrils. Observing the body breathing at its own natural rhythm. And as we observe, we practice allowing things to be as they are. And when the mind passes a judgment about our level of attention, the number of thoughts, we simply acknowledge and come back to the breath, accepting a busy mind or a calm mind, allowing our experience to be as it is, moment by moment. having the patience to come back to the breath and notice the subtle physical sensations with interest, with curiosity. Perhaps noticing just how the ribs move, how they feel. Sensing that right around to the spine. Perhaps noticing the sensation of skin moving against cloth. And when the mind wanders, you bring it back kindly to the breath, sensing the body, and connecting with the present moment. Bringing the mind back from distractions. Noticing perhaps the place where for you the breath is most evident. And once again, bringing the mind back. Feeling ourselves connecting again with the breath after a distraction. Noticing this breath and this one. Allowing our experience to be as it is, without censoring or judging or analyzing. Being with our direct experience of now. And just one more breath in mindful awareness. And opening our eyes when we're ready. feeling that transition too. Now, being in the moment requires a certain amount of allowing, and allowing things to be as they are. And I was prompted to sort of ponder this subject just now. I've dropped a friend off at the airport, and there was a couple who just said goodbye, and he had gone through security, and she was standing there with her two little dogs, and the dogs were looking up at security, and they had their tails straight down, and there was no wagging of tails at all. They were focused completely on their master leaving, and I was aware of them, and it was a very touching moment. And then I was saying goodbye to my friend, and I was feeling sad and some other mixed emotions. And I was saying, have a good flight, and I hope it goes smoothly. And I wasn't feeling those feelings. I wasn't allowing myself to stand there with my tail straight down. And, you know, suppressing the tears, feel them later. And when I got back to the car, it so happened that the woman with the dogs was actually parked next to me. And I saw her petting the dogs and getting in the car. And I sat there for a moment to feel my feelings. And I realized that, yes, there's probably a good reason why we time our showing of emotions. And I was not judging myself, but I was very aware that I wasn't having that direct experience of now. I was putting on a brave face and saving feelings till later. Anyway, I have had the opportunity then to feel them. I had the opportunity in this meditation to be there. And once we allow ourselves to really be with what's happening without having to work out exactly why, or tell ourselves that we shouldn't, or pull our socks up, or find somebody to blame, or focus on something to take it away, like chocolate or coffee, we can just actually feel the feelings. When we do that, when we allow them without the mind having to jump in, then very often we feel them and they pass, and we've fully experienced our moment, and we're able to then move on. And so maybe the little dogs are at home now wagging their tails and running around the garden. They're not dragging it on and suppressing and analyzing and finding reasons. So it takes some practice, and sometimes it feels like a very precious opportunity to meditate and to really feel what's there right now without having to make it different or better or work out why. So this week, I invite you to allow things to be as they are, to use your meditation as a little laboratory, as a place to practice that, a safe place to really be with what's happening for you right now. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for another guided meditation. I'm here in the south of France. You can hear the cicadas. You could probably hear my phone. Decided not to judge myself for that. And the yurt is set up down by the river, and it's a beautiful spot there for swimming and for visiting Provence. So if you'd like to come and stay in the yurt and meditate by the river, then do contact me through the website, omindfulness.com. That's just the letter O at the beginning. Have a mindful week, and see you soon.